This morning, I ended up crunching the numbers. I went through what I've been able to trim so far out of the story, and I've cut 552 words so far out of this story. Um, and for me, that is a ton. I'm definitely not someone who's very good about cutting out sections, cutting out words, really cutting out anything. It's just not typically how I tend to do things. I'm very much what Stephen King would call a put inner. I'm I love when I do additional drafts to add more in. It takes a very good carrot and stick mentality with me to get me to be able to trim words down. Eventually, it happens. Just very much in the later stages. Certainly not in any sort of like second draft. Am I cutting this amount of words out? But I have, so which is awesome. So 552 words out of this whole thing. That's amazing. It's great. And especially this being kind of the beginning of the story. This is still like the first, 4 pages here. Taking 552 words out of that, that's basically shaving a whole page right there. Single spaced, about 2 pages double spaced out of the whole thing. So awesome. The whole thing's flowing much better. It's definitely moving at a much better pace than the way I had it originally, um, which again is great. Um, now we're gonna start getting more into the weeds. Now that I'm kind of where um, I'm sort of where my just kind of trimming things, just relying upon summary, things like that. Basically, that stuff's gonna have to start going away. It's gonna have to now start being just really tightening up what I've written here in the middle part of the story. Now the thing has gotten going, for lack of a better term. It's going to be a challenge. That'll be probably the hardest part of the whole thing. In all honesty, is the middle, especially with this story here. It's doing a lot. It's a story that does a whole lot, and that's the biggest pitfall for any short story. Is a short story that does a lot, because the whole point of a short story is that it's not supposed to do a whole lot. It's supposed to focus on one or two key areas at most, and that's it. So one or two ideas, one or two themes, and that's all you're gonna get in such a short space. You can't make it dazzle. Um, I actually have a one of my I guess, for lack of a better term, one of my I guess call them pupils. I'm not sure. One of the people basically that I'm doing my book coaching on. They're working on a short story right now, and they are almost paradoxically in a much similar situation in that their story does a lot. They've tried to make it do a ton of different things. They have a lot of plot points. They have a lot of just mind-boggling things going on. Like the amount they have in this short story could be expanded basically into a novel, which I've said before. And unfortunately, the person that I'm coaching here, they've only been writing for about 2 years, so they're pretty new to it. And with it, unfortunately, they are not one to necessarily always take my advice on that kind of thing. And so I've been trying to slowly and patiently kind of open their eyes to understand that when it comes to this process of short stories, you need to keep things short. It needs to be brief. It needs to focus on just, again, those couple key ideas, and that is it. And I'm the world's biggest hypocrite when it comes to that, because I've many stories, including this one, perhaps even when I'm done with it, might still be doing too much, maybe. Hoping not, but every chance it might. We always think we are the exceptions to every rule, and I am certainly no exception to that.